Hi, I'm Doug Chinnery, the Chinnery part of Bailey Chinnery, and along with my teaching partner Valda Bailey, I help photographers and artists develop their skills and find new ways to express themselves through our in-person tours and especially our online and app-based creative learning community called FIVE, which stands for Find Your Voice. In this video, you'll find a brief introduction to the shooting of multiple exposure images using your camera that I recorded when we were teaching in Connemara, Western Ireland. I'd like to apologise for my cold sore and for the fact that it was pouring with rain at the time, but after all it is Western Ireland. If you'd like more in-depth tutorials on burst mode shooting and other forms of multiple exposure and creative camera techniques, along with other mixed media artistic techniques to work along with your photography, and also help on how we process these images in software in the way that you see here. These are processed raw files made with burst mode in camera and then processed in Lightroom and Photoshop and other pieces of software. Then why don't you take the 2-week entirely free, no obligation trial to FIVE that you'll find at five.art. And there you'll have access to over 300 hours of video content, galleries and forums. And if it's not for you, it's just a couple of clicks to cancel the free trial. You have full control over that and it's very easy to come out of it. Anyway, onto the video. I hope you enjoy it and find it useful, and we look forward to seeing you on FIVE hopefully soon. Thank you very much for watching the video. Bye.
Hi everyone, we're in the village of Roundstone in Connemara in the west of Ireland. As you can see, typical Irish weather. It's pouring with rain, but it's actually quite good conditions for what I'm about to show you. I did a video a week or so ago about burst mode shooting in multiple exposures, and I'm just going to go through the settings again, and I'm going to show you a real life example of an image that I've made or I'm going to make with burst mode shooting, just to show you the technique in practice and the kind of effects that you can get from it. So I'm going to talk you through now the settings on the camera. So obviously I'm using the Canon R5. Your camera might be different. And as I've explained in the previous technique video, the Fuji users, you can't do this because of the menu that you get that interrupts the process. But the first thing we need to do with our camera is switch on the drive mode. So you can see here that I've gone into the drive mode and I've switched on the high speed drive mode. That's going to fire the shutter really fast for me. So once that's switched on, the next thing you need to do is set the camera up so that it will work really fast as well. So even though the light is quite good here, I've set my ISO to 1600 and I'm going to work at quite a wide aperture. So I'm on f3.5. You will work on a nice wide aperture to suit the situation that you're in. If you're working indoors or low light, you may need to take your ISO even higher than that. And then in the multiple exposure menu, when you go into the multiple exposure menu on the Canon, the really important difference is not to use on function control, but to use on continuous shooting. So we select that. Now I'm going to do these in bright mode, but you can do it in dark mode, you can do it in average mode. I just encourage you to experiment with your subject, see what results you get, and have your number of exposures set to the maximum that your camera will work at, because with burst mode shooting the effect is gained by having lots of frames building up on each other. Okay, so once that's all set, you're pretty much good to go. Now because I've done one or two test shots here, and I know that this shot is probably going to work quite well if I make the white balance nice and blue. So I've gone to a tungsten white balance, so I've got a nice blue-white balance set. And so what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to zoom in on that area that I've pointed out to you, focus, and then I'm just going to fire and move the camera. Okay, now that shot came out a little bit too bright for me, so I'm just going to reduce the exposure compensation, make it a little bit darker, and I'm going to have another go and just watch how I move the camera. You can see I'm kind of painting with the camera. I'm moving the camera around as the shots fire off. So I'm just going to do another one because I got a little bit of the white boat in. I don't really want that for the shot that I'm aiming for. Okay, so just want to have a look at this. It might be a little bit dark to see on the camera, but if it is, I'll cut this into the video. But I'm quite liking that I'm getting some really nice, interesting shapes and dark lines and things building up there. Now you can stop at that point, or you can go back into your multiple exposure menu and pick up the image that you've just shot. So go down to select image for multiple exposures, and then you can go onto your memory card and choose any picture you want by wheeling the back wheel. Press set, okay, and now that image is the foundation image, the first frame in the composite. And so I can now layer on top another series of burst mode images. So I'm going to fire the shutter again and just paint on another series of images. Okay. And I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to press menu, go into the multiple exposure menu, select image for multiple exposure, and now I'm going to select that one again. And that's going to become the base for the next sequence. Come back down. And I'm going to paint on, and now I'm getting some interesting shapes and patterns and so on. And I'm now going to just show you a few of the images that I've made using this technique. But you can see that just by firing and moving the camera, you can get interesting patterns and shapes and very abstract things happening just by locking the focus and then moving the camera in different directions. As you fire it round, you can keep checking your results and see what happens. And if you like what's happened, but you want to lay some more on top, just pick that image up off the card and then go back in, and then you can add some more images on top of it. And it's as simple as that. Hope that's been helpful.